Hey YouTube, it's KittyDuke here. I'm gonna be showing off my new Fortune Lady deck. In a video coming up, when I actually show you guys what I look like, because sad to say is I wasn't able to do the one like I promised, but I'll let you guys see what I actually look like now. I'm also going to be explaining why. I'm going to also be going over a few cards I've been seeing a lot of people put in their Fortune Lady decks that doesn't work in a Fortune Lady deck, and I'll explain why it doesn't. And then probably in the video after that one, I'm just going to go over a few things of like the Fortune Ladies themselves, each one individually, and like support cards for helping their effects or not helping their effects. Other than that, hopefully I'll get some videos up of this actual build of my Fortune Ladies, but here it goes. First of all, starting off with 3 Fortune Lady Lights, like all Fortune Lady decks. This is not the main part of this deck, actually. This is sadly just a just for tuning for level 4. I'm not really using her to summon out my other Fortune Ladies. 2 fires, also part of my synchroing materials needed for my tuner. If you haven't figured that out already, my tuner is actually Junk Synchron. But these are good for burn damage by bringing out from Light's effect. My 2 winds, these are just for here for magic and trap destruction. I mean, summoning it with no Fortune Lady on the field is just a -1 for my opponent. But any advantage is an advantage. Next, Spirit Reaper, just the defense card of the whole deck. Card Trooper. I run this so I can mill my Fortune Ladies to the graveyard so I can work Dark's effect faster. That's why I said Light's not as important in this deck as she would be in most builds. Plus, when this is, destroyed, I get to draw a card. So, mill for 3 cards, 1500 extra, so it's 19, 3 stars. He gets destroyed, I draw a card anyways. Next is the only tuner of the deck, triple Junk Synchrons. Like I said, these are mainly lights, and fires are the main source of this card's fuel. That's why I like to mill off instead of actually worrying about their effects. Next, I'm running triple Fortune Lady Waters. Triple water. This is mainly the draw engine of the whole deck, so if I'm going to draw any extra cards, it's because I'm special summoning these out. I don't have Fortune's Future in this deck because I don't remove that often except for by the field spell, so that makes it useless. Next is Triple Dark. The special summoner for my grave, that's why I mill faster with this build, so she comes out faster as well. And 1 Earth. My only beat stick of the whole deck, as well as still mild burn damage, but burn damage nonetheless. 400 for every time she goes up, levels. And it just burns their life points little by little as she stays on the field, or if I bring her out just before the standby phase, she'll burn for 4 at least. Onto the spells. Dark Hole, Double Visions. Like I said, since I'm not running Fortune's Future, this is just to slow down my opponent, and if I have to get off Light's effect. Otherwise, it's not really, there's no real use for it. 1 Lightning Vortex, 2 Magical Dimension. These are, like I said, just to help like I said before, these are just to help me get my darks out. The whole deck is revolving around my dark and synchros. So, you know, pop off any spellcaster I have, or my opponent's, or not my opponent's monster, because actually I don't have mind control in the main deck, it's in the side, but when I side it out, I can still just, you know, take theirs, offer it as long as I have a spellcaster, and get another monster, so it's an advantage that way. Plus then I could still destroy my opponent's monster. I'm running 2 mallets. I know I'm going to hear a lot of you guys going like, telling me to take these out for other things. Well, these actually help with dead hands. Like, maybe the cards might be useful later on to me, instead of like just throwing them in the graveyard, I can usually just slide them back into the deck, draw out the same number of cards. I know it's a -1, but in reality, being able to change your hand to something you want, or, you know, at least something a little bit better, is actually a good thing, instead of just saying, oh, well, having to just destroy your whole hand, or even destroying like 2 cards and then going later on in the game wishing you had them in your deck. Monster Reborn, staple. Double MST. This is good, especially with wind, and also just getting rid of skill drain or oppression. Mostly this is for skill drain destroying, so I can use my Fortune Lady's effects. In my area, skill drain is a problem here. 1 Pot of Avarice, since I can mill through. You know, usually by the time I draw this, I've got at least 8 monsters in the grave, so this is good for milling, for helping. Swords, just stall out. No real purpose other than that. But it is sometimes good, especially when you have nothing on the field and you're just hoping that each turn goes by you can get something. Plus, your opponent has to waste a card just to get rid of this if they're that desperate for killing you. So it, you know, it gives you a little advantage, not much. And instead of running Time Passages, I'm running Synchro Boost, because raising up their level by 1, and as well as giving them 500 points, like for Dark, that makes her 29. And with Fortune Lady Earth, it deals 400 damage, adds 400 to her attack and defense, and then adds another 500 to the attack. So she'd be at, you know, 33, and only be a level 7. That, you know, like in some of the casual duels I go against, she could take out a Blue Eyes White Dragon, and she's only one tribute. I mean, come on, that's actually pretty good. Now onto the traps. Of course, the staples, Bottomless. Draining Shield, which as soon as I get my hands on a Mirror Force, I'm going to throw this into the side and put Mirror Force in main. But this does help because, you know, gain life points and negate an attack. Sakuretsu Armor, better known actually as Reactive Armor, because it's just a set of armor that reacts to an attack. It's easy to use. It's better than Deep Prison sometimes, especially if your opponent wants their cards removed. For like for Dimensional Alchemist, instead this sends them to the grave. And when I get Deep Prisons, though, that's what's going to be taking these guys' place, and these are going to go into side. And the last card of the deck is Torrential Tribute. Just a basic staple. Okay, onto the extra deck. Armory Arm. You know, since I got Junk, I can actually synchro to a level 4. Catastor, level 5. If I'm running against, you know, Light Sworns, this is actually pretty good to just keep knocking them out. Junk Warriors. Yeah, I am running Junk Synchron, so of course run the Warrior version. And since I do have like lights and fires that can hit the field really quick, that also boosts his attack up. Next, to Tempest. This is a spellcaster's deck, so Tempest is still a good monster to run in here. Plus, discarding the hand to boost up, not her attack, but the spell counters. And also then fueling Fortune Lady Dark's effect that way. And then hit for massive burn. Brionac, just field bounce, that's all. If I have a full hand, my opponent has a full field of like 5 or 6 cards. Get this on the field, discard my whole hand, that clears their field, and just strike with no worries for that turn. Ancient Fairy Dragons, I run these for the fact that I could destroy my field spell, gain 1,000 life points, as well as I can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from my hand once per turn with these. So, like if I have a Fortune Lady, I have this on the field. If I have water in my hand and I know one of the cards I need is still in my deck, special summon Fortune Lady Water out, and I get the 2 cards. So I get an advantage for field and for life as well as hand in this kind of a build. So yeah, this is an interesting card to have in a Fortune Lady deck. It is helpful. Next is 2 Herbellums. Herbellum, I run this just because messing with my opponent's hand still works for me. Other than that, there's no real use for it other than the fact that it's, it's 2200. 2200 can still overpush a Cyber Dragon, and sometimes that's all I need. Next is Black Rose Dragon. Black Rose Dragon's just, another Dark Hole synchro version of it. Next is 2 Stardust Dragons. This is my main protection for my monsters being destroyed. And that's about all it's there for. Next, and finally, is Junk Destroyer. Since I'm running Junk Synchron, I do know that this card, it's not that great of a card, but it every now and then has helped me destroy off my opponents for a push for a win, and it was good. But other than that, it's not easy for me to pull that off. The cards that are hard for me to pull off in this build is actually all these guys. Even Tempest is a little hard, but I can usually get out Brionac, Tempest, out to the field. Junk, of course, easy. Catastor, easy, just like Junk. And Armory Arm, sorry. But other than that, this deck runs fairly nice, fairly easy, and it's actually a pretty decent build. I would appreciate any comments or suggestions. Just know that if you're like expecting me to get like this expensive card for this deck, don't even think about suggesting it, because I'm cheap. Let's put it that way. I'm going to keep the build simple and inexpensive, because this build here alone cost me like $30 to put together. And $30 is actually pretty cheap for a deck that can become very competitive if it's run the right way. So I'm going to take this to locals, hopefully, and just start running it. And hopefully I can get some vids of how it runs. And until next time, guys, I'm out of here.